Hello, today I am going to talk to you about my Today I'm going to talk to you about my five-star rating books that I rated 5 stars in this month. The first book, and I rated 4 books, but one I already reviewed, Death Note, Volume 1, I already reviewed that, link in the down bar, or you can look up Saturday Reads, which is kind of like, Weekly Reads, not Saturday Reads, Weekly Reads. So the first book I am going to talk about is Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne. This is an excellent story. I rated this 5 out of 5. This one is about, obviously, a bear named Edward. I believe his name is Edward. Edward Bear. And his adventures. And he's got a lot of friends in this. So we have Owl, Eeyore, Piglet, and Kangaroo. And this is a rabbit, and this is in the map, like in the movies and TV shows. Really amazing. I love this. And they also have 4 drawn pictures, and this very simple picture too, with Christopher Robin. What I loved about this book so much is I love the introduction, which they kind of say Christopher Robin, he is the son of A.A. Milne, and Christopher basically is in this book, but he's not only like in this book, he's actually like he's as a character like this, but he's also in this book as a commentator, which does say that. I really love this book, and it's got really quirky lines in this book. And the character of Pooh Bear, or Winnie the Pooh, the character of him, he is very smart, and he calls himself dumb, but he's very smart. It's really good. So now we're going to talk about some of the quotes, or read some of the quotes. This is part of Eeyore Has a Birthday, where Piglet and Pooh are trying to figure out what to give to Eeyore's birthday. This one says, What a long time, whoever lives here is answering this door. He knocked again, and he knocked again. But Pooh, said Piglet, it's your own house. Oh, said Pooh, so it is, he said. Well, let's go in. And the second quote I put, which is also from the same story, and this one says, Piglet lay there, wondering what had happened. At first she thought, and this is with the balloon popping, I guess, like in the aftermath. So Piglet lay there, wondering what had happened. At first he thought that the whole world had blown up. And then he thought that perhaps only the forest part of it had. And then he thought that perhaps only he had. Now he was alone in the moon or somewhere, and he would never see Christopher Robin, or Pooh, or Eeyore again. And then he thought, well, even if I am in the moon, I needn't be face downwards all the time. And so he got cautiously up and looked about him. And so this was a really excellent book. So, by the way, and it's got really cute pictures, as I've shown you. So The next book is also a book with pictures. It's called The Absolute Diary of a Part-Time Indian. This one I also rated 5 out of 5. This one is an excellent story. This is about a guy named Junior. He's called Junior anyway. And he goes to this he lives on this Indian reservation, and he goes to the school that's next to them, and the teachers always like live there too because it's a small reservation and they want to teach Indian students. And his teacher one day, when he accidentally or purposely throws a book at the teacher's face, then the teacher comes to his house and says, "Hey, I think you're really smart. You should go to this other different school." So he decides to go to a different school, and he tells his parents that he needs to go to a different school. The parents then bring him to that school, and obviously things ensure. This is also a story about bullying. They have so much bullying in this novel. We have bullying mainly in the beginning parts. His best friend is a bully, and it's very interesting. And then it goes on when he goes into the school. He meets another friend, and they become really close, while his older friend kind of drifts away, sort of. It's really good. This book made me cry. It was amazing. I'm going to read you some quotes here. Okay, this one says, "If you let people into your life a little bit, they can be pretty damn amazing." And this one says, "Well, life is a constant struggle between being an individual and being a member of the community." This one says, "Drinking would shut down my seeing and my hearing and my feeling," she used to say. "Why would I want to be in the world if I couldn't touch the world with all my senses intact?" And then the last one is, "I used to think the world was broken down by tribes," I said, "by black and white, by Indian and white. But I know that isn't true. The world is only broken by two tribes, the people who are assholes and the people who are not." Yeah, so I highly suggest you check out this novel. Really good. The next novel I read was The Ocean at the End of the Lane, and this is my new favorite book by Neil Gaiman, and this is amazing. This tells a story about a boy. He's an adult now. He's 40 years old, maybe middle-aged. It doesn't really explain how old he is, but he goes to his hometown for a funeral. And before he stops at the funeral, he decides to go home. And before he stops home, he decides to go to the Holloway's farm. And then he goes into the past when he was 7 years old. 7 years old. About 6 or 7 years old. And his experience on that farm. And who he met. So he talks about this girl that he met named Letty Holloway, and her mom and her grandmother lived there with her. And they are, I would call them, say what you want, say what you want, but I would call those people, or actually they're not really people, but those characters are fairy hunters. They hunt fairies that are unwanted in the world. And so there's this fairy that comes along, and her name is Ursula. She is a babysitter, and she's kind of a negative, she's pretty negative, and to like everybody likes her, but she's kind of like lets off this vibe that everybody likes her. And the reason why she doesn't like the kid, the main character, is because he was her way in to the world. So yeah, This one's very, it's a fantasy, but it's got very surreal fantasy more, where it's not like some things are not always as if they seem kind of thing. And I really absolutely love this book. So we're going to pick out some quotes here. We have, "And then he didn't have anything," said the woman, and all was dark. "That's not what he wrote, though," said Leslie, squeezing her eyes. What he wrote was, "To all my friends, am so sorry. It was not like I meant to, and I hope that you can find it in your heart to forgive me, for I cannot forgive myself." Okay, then this one. This is a scenery. I love these sceneries. "I thought I was looking at the building at first. There was some kind of tent, as high as the country church, made of gray and pink canvas that flapped in the gusts of storm wind. In that orange sky, a loop-sided canvas structure, aged by weather and ripped by time." And then this one, it says, "Small children believe themselves to be gods, or some of them do, and they can only be satisfied when the rest of the world goes along with their way of seeing things." And let's do one more, which is, "I thought I told you to stay in your room. Now I find you sneaking around like a drowned sailor." I turned, looked behind me, saw nothing at all. There was nobody there. So, this is a really awesome book. You should pick it up and read it to see what you think about it. And that is it for my 5-star reviews. And comment down below, subscribe, and thumbs up, okay? And have a great day. Bye!